to see you. You are in for a treat. Welcome to the Kingdom Visionary Strategic Society virtual pop-up experience. This is where you meet 19 dynamic women who are bosses in their own right. So go ahead, go use the bathroom, grab a paper and a pen, because you will be receiving vital information that is life-changing. Get you a glass of water, a glass of wine if you want to, but meet me back here. Can't wait.
Geralda Larkins and the ladies of the Kingdom Visionary Strategic Society will be hosting for the first time ever a live virtual purpose pop-up experience in the comfort of your own home. Get in your comfortable clothes and sit in your relaxing chair and tune in on Saturday, April 25th at 11 a.m. on Facebook.com/Geralda Larkins. Be a part of our engaging marketplace watch parties. Catch our dynamic panel discussions as we talk about creativity, family, strategy, and more. So join the ladies of the Strategic Society on Saturday, April 25th at 11 a.m. And remember, stay safe and healthy, everyone.
Welcome back. I am Regine Joseph, your hostess with the mostest. I am the CEO of Regine Joseph Enterprise. I curate kingdom experiences for life, love, and leisure. As you know, right now we are in a pandemic, but that won't stop this show. So, are you interested in knowing who these wonderful women are? These 19 dynamic women who are bosses in their own right? Well, look up. Here we go.
Visionary strategist and pastor Geralda Larkins has always had a special gift to steer visions to reality. Her strong leadership abilities, gift of administration, and her passion to advance the kingdom of God has led her on a lifelong journey to train, transform, and transition God's people to a life of freedom through the unconditional love of Jesus Christ. Geralda is the founder of Impart Kingdom Ministries, where she teaches kingdom essentials for success in life, in ministry, and in the marketplace. She is a pioneer in the marketplace with the establishment of LegacyGlobal.tv, a broadcast network for an online community of kingdom-centered entrepreneurs. Geralda is married to her junior high sweetheart and best friend, Christopher, and loving mother to their 4 children. Geralda's motto is, "Greater works you will do, because greater is in you."
My name is Geralda Larkins, and I'm a visionary strategist. I'm also the senior pastor and overseer of Impart Kingdom Ministries, where we teach kingdom essentials for success in life, in ministry, and in the marketplace. I've always been in program management, administration, organizational management. That's my 9 to 5, right? And when I got saved, for real, I began to be inspired to use those gifts and really learn about the gifts that God has given me. I was always pre-wired to put programs together and events and coordinate details of organizations and human resources and all that stuff. Once I got really involved in my church, I started applying those gifts and started to see how it helped to build the church, the local church I was a part of, and then local ministers started reaching out to me to say, "Hey, I saw what you've done for your church. Can you also help me start my ministry or start my business?" And so I used to do individual clients all the time. Over the years, I've just noticed that with those private clients, whenever they left me, they would leave me and not have a support system that they can really grow with and build with. And that was the missing link, that was really just kind of stifling their growth and their acceleration in their ministry. And so when God gave me the Strategic Society, he just basically said to me, bring my people together, bring them together, and we begin to support one another and strategize together and celebrate one another. If it's truly kingdom, then it's all about relationship, and it requires others to also impart their gift to that vision to truly see the expansion that God intended for it to be. So.
Tonight, while I'm here, I want you guys to see God and to see how He has shaped me from a mighty long way.
I am Audrey Brooks, a board-certified Christian counselor. I empower, educate, and encourage women to live their best lives.
She is absolutely a pastor. She does that. She's been pastoring it as a function for many, many years. And now to be up there teaching and preaching and sharing her story and giving wise counsel to so many people, it was just divine alignment. That's all it was.
Hi, I'm Audrey Brooks of Brooks Counseling Service, a faith-based support service where we offer counseling for individuals, family, couples, to help them maximize their strengths. The mission of Brooks Counseling Service is to help individuals, families, and couples with healing and restoration. Our mission is to help families move from their past into their purpose. We want individuals to know that regardless of abuse, domestic violence, sexual abuse, anything that have held them captive in the past, that they can move past that. Brooks Counseling Service has helped individuals release the hurts of sexual abuse, domestic violence, low self-esteem, unforgiveness, all of the issues that have kept them bound to their past. We also offer the Release to Hurt support group. The purpose of the Release to Hurt group is to let individuals know that they do not have to live in their past. A changed mindset can help them move from the past into the present.
When you work hard, when you're working hard diligently, especially when you have faith, especially when you believe in something bigger than you, and that's God, God will just honor you. And I am at the position right now because of the hard work of my team, of my mentors, of just people who believe in me, that fuels me to work hard. And I just want to let you know that what you see up here, it couldn't have happened without hard work, believing, and just having faith like this small of a mustard seed, and then this what you will see will come out.
My name is Marie Denise Simmons. I am the creative director of MD Simmons Productions. I'm a mother, a wife, a daughter, a sister, a friend. I'm a creative. MD Simmons Productions, we produce, manage, and create innovative artistic projects that brings revelation and provoke transformation in the entertainment industry for the glory of God. Because ultimately what we want to see is the entertainment industry revolutionized for the kingdom of God. So through our content that we create, through the stories, through the way that we write, film, and capture the essence of the stories that we want to tell, we are aiming to shift the narrative.
She absolutely answered the call of God to take MD Simmons Production, the administration that God gave her, to the next level.
My name is Regina McNish, and I am an author, and I'm also president and creative director of We Fight to Tell Stories Praise Dance Ministry.
I fasted for 7 days and I asked God, do I forgive him? Holy Spirit said, no, you're going to forgive you. When you forgive him, you're forgiving yourself. You're freeing yourself from all of this stuff because...
Okay, she has this amazing book where the title is called He Interceded. So she wrote this book, and it's her whole life story of the ups and downs that she's experienced in life and the ultimate revelation that the Holy Spirit was interceding for her, standing in the gap the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I wanted her to speak that, preach that, teach that, right? I gave her a lesson, like, teach this concept of intercession.
An intercessor is someone who stands in the gap for somebody else. They intercede through prayer, through fasting, for the need of someone else.
It was amazing. You could see she carried that. It's like, it's one of those things where I call it a signature message. A signature message is that thing that is your imprint. It's like you can talk about that thing if somebody calls you for last minute speaking gig.
Hey, how she get back here so fast? I did that through prayer. My God. At what, 16, 17 years old, I knew that the problem is with intercession is we don't understand the power behind it. Yeah.
What drew me into the ministry was the uniqueness of it, because I know I wasn't crazy. You know, and so just being able to connect with other people who get you, and you like, girl, you crazy too. What? We hear from God and we actually step out like we got crazy faith. So that's what drew me, the uniqueness of that.
Sierra shared some of her strategies of putting the person, or helping to keep her clients focused on their self-care. And while you may not be working on your vision this month, even though Gerald is going to be in my face about what's going on with your vision this month, she would still make time to ensure that that person is making time for themselves.
I think for me, self-care is so important because it's the remedy to stress. You know, stress is a silent killer. Nobody sees stress. Nobody really talks about it and the impact that it has on every area of our lives, our relationships, whether it be a marriage, our relationship with our kids, our working relationships, our business, you know, our health. And self-care looks like just being sensitive to my needs at all times.
She helps women that are managing these different hats to balance, find balance, but also to simplify your life and create strategies that would help you manage everything.
I think my ultimate vision for the society and my clients is for us to walk in the fullness that God has promised us, that every pain, every trial, every tribulation would turn into the victory that is already ours, but that we would see the manifestation and the fullness of that thing.
Is self-care your superpower? My name is Sierra Hilaire. I am a certified self-care strategist and the CEO of Sierra Hilaire Enterprises. And my passion and purpose in life is to see women just like you activated to be authentic, balanced, and free, so you can relentlessly pursue your God-given purpose through practical strategies, solutions, and the support that you need. Managing and balancing and building a business and a family is never an easy task, and I would love to come alongside you and support you on that journey. Connect with me on social media, Facebook, Instagram at Sierra Hilaire, or you can visit my website, sierrahilaire.com, to learn more about what I can do and how we could partner to work together. See you there.
I am Ebony Nicole Smith. I am the founder and CEO of Ebony Nicole Smith Consulting, LLC. So the bolder that you are and telling your story, the bolder others that read it and hear it can become as well.
I was Ebony's client. You know, she helped me. She's that writing coach to consultants, clergy, and coaches. And so here I am. But I was a living, walking witness of everything that she was sharing because she took me through those things. I was the one running away from telling my story, and she would lay me on back. She would not let me get away with some intellectual iteration of scripture.
And I learned that it's okay to be bold in your storytelling through my clients and for me to share my own story. So yeah, that's what I learned. That's what I learned.
Hey you guys, I have one question for you. Aren't you ready for this to be you? Or how about this? Aren't you ready? And maybe this book. Aren't you ready? Maybe you want to take a real leap and say, yes, I'm ready. And finally, are you really ready? Are you ready to become a published author? Are you ready to get your book done? If so, I'm your coach. I am Coach Ebony Nicole, the founder and CEO of Ebony Nicole Smith Consulting, which is a boutique writing and publishing company. As a result of what I do, my clients, such as these and many others, have had their books in hand and ready for immediate sales in as little as 6 months. When you are ready to become bold in your storytelling and become a bold writer, let's talk. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Ebony Nicole Smith Consulting, as well as through my website, www.ebonynicolesmith.com. I look forward to helping you say, I am a published author this year.
My name is Regine Joseph. I am the CEO of Regine Joseph Enterprise. I curate kingdom experiences for life, love, and leisure.
Regine has such a unique coaching program that just continues to blow my mind.
Crafting Conversation is a unique form of therapy. I take adults into a childlike state so that we can really target those issues that they did not deal with when they were younger. And this is how we're moving forward so that they can be the greatest version of themselves.
I love seeing how she is just championing this idea of coaching and crafting at the same time. And so, and another thing that Regine is so good at pulling out is the emotional, I call it drama, that we go through with God. Like, that emotion, I hate showing that, but she has a way of pulling that out of women.
And this is why you always see, I appreciate Daddy. Daddy is God. I appreciate Daddy because if you ever read the word when Jesus spoke to, he had a connection to kids. He had a connection to kids. Why? The innocence. Those walls were down. I trust you easily. There's no reason for me to question you. And finding that if I can get my clients in that childlike state, you can trust me easier. You will let me in. I don't have to chip and pull and tug for you to tell me how you feel and for you to be authentic about it.
Winsome is one of the smartest people you're ever going to meet. Let me tell you, that girl is like, when I think about her brain capacity, her intellect, she's like a black hole. There's no filling it. She will just continue to inhale so much information and be able to understand, assess it, understand it, and apply it. And so with the application of it, right, that is where I've seen her grow. Winsome just need a seat at the table. When she's at the seat at the table, she will kick that table down, rebuild it, and make it into a nice dinette set, and then break that down and create a whole news desk. Then she'll break that down, and she'll just keep flipping the table because that is the kind of anointing anointing that she carries.
I look at people from a three-dimensional space, so we're body, soul, and spirit. And so if that is the case, then all of that shows up when we're having our coaching sessions. And so if my soul, which is my mind, my will, and my emotions are off, then it's probably going to impact my ability to execute, my ability to fulfill whatever goal I intended to fulfill for that moment, right? Or for that week or that day. So my style is that I approach a person from that perspective. It's like I tell some of my therapy clients, I'll believe for you. I'll trust God for you until you're able to do that for yourself. So I'll stand in the gap. I'll be motivated and I'll be happy and joyous about what your future looks like until you can be joyous and you can be happy about what your future looks like. So yeah, I'll do it. That's what I signed up for, standing in the gap. So I don't have to match their anxiety. I don't have to match their frustration. I can remain in my posture and believe for them.
The clients that she had all went through some very trying personal issues in life that were absolutely creating stumbling blocks for them to see the kind of growth that they wanted to see in their ministry and business. And so pairing them up with Winsome and how she kind of customized their session to not only tackle goals for your business, but also give time. She calls it suspending her agenda. Made me cry. But she would suspend her agenda, and she would have an agenda. She would like, this is what we're going to talk about today. These are the things we're going to touch on. These are the homework assignments you had, all that. But she would suspend her agenda to make sure to check on the condition of the vessel who's carrying all this. And I just thought that was great. I think she taught us so much.
I try to humanize of that individual's experience, that things might be going on, and like we have time to work this out and to walk it out. So let's focus on what we need to focus on in that moment, and don't allow it to prevent us or don't allow it to forfeit the future, but understanding that we need to deal with the present. And many times we don't have safe spaces where we can actually be authentic with, our truth, So for me, this conversation was informative. It was empowering. It reinforced for me that I am on the right track as it relates to my approach to people and what I'm doing. So to be validated by other strategists and coaches and my clients, it was really a wonderful experience for me.
My name is Berlinda Grant. I am a nurse. I work in long-term care. Right now I'm a staff developer. The ministry is Perfect Imperfection. It's for women's empowerment. I'm focusing on the 8 dimensions of wellness. Perfect Imperfection had spun off from Brassy. Brassy was a women's boutique. So wanting women to be aware of where they are, having a strategic intervention in place, and community support to help them through those areas of their life.
I had the depression. God delivered, took me through all of that stuff, but I'm not going to forget that that's a tender area of my life.
She shared bits and pieces of her personal walk with God.
I was very nervous about it. I think if I had a way where I could get out of doing it, I would have. But my coach, she did say one thing to me today. It was like, okay, Belinda, you got to just get through this. She was like, people just needs to hear. And I think with just knowing that, as much as I was nervous and really not someone that cared to be speaking in front of a group of people, when she said that they just need to hear this, that got me to like, okay, let me get there, let me get it done.
The depression, the clinical depression, and what that looked like, she described it. I had no idea, okay, until she was preparing for this. For Houston, I had no idea she had even walked out certain issues.
I knew I wasn't going to just do medication, and I know that God can heal. I know He can move us from one spot to the next, But we also have to utilize other resources and stuff that people that you put in place, finding the right person. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get through this. But once I got through it, I can, waking up now is different. Waking up now is very, very different. I wake up just, it's something about how I feel before I even get started. Even though I'm like dragging, like, oh Lord, I gotta go ahead to this job. There's still something different about when I wake up. Something different.
In 2018, I was diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety. I felt so sad inside. I pushed people away because they weren't listening. They didn't truly understand how I was feeling inside. I wanted to get my life back. I reached out to my therapist. I reached out to my coach. Because so many people are battling depression. They're so afraid to seek out help. They don't have the right support system. I too was afraid. I know that feeling, that darkness inside. You feel so lost. You feel so confused. I created the Redirect Your Choice program for those who just don't know where to start. Our experienced coaches are ready to create a customized plan to help you get out of your own way, change your mindset, and redirect your choices. For more information, visit our website.
Hello, I am Shanique Pinder, certified family coach, author, inspirational speaker, and CEO of Feet to Faith Family Services, Inc., a nonprofit organization based here in Broward County, Florida. My mission is to equip and empower men and women to build their families on a foundation of faith, to build thriving communities that influence culture and affect change for the glory of God. My vision is families made whole. This is done through our many parent trainings and workshops, mentoring program, and our strongest pillar, which is support. You can find me on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Shanique Pinder or at Feet to Faith Family Services, Inc. I am committed to building stronger families and communities.
Just going directly to the owner, maybe another employee. And if it is the owner, it could be going outside of the organization and reporting it to one of our local attorney offices, but never not report it. But you don't believe that you are the power that you need because you haven't yet discovered what your greatness is.
Hi, I'm Deborah Reddick, CEO of Deborah Reddick Ministries. Our mission is to empower, encourage, and enrich the lives of women nationally and globally, in mind, body, and spirit. We do this through life-altering conferences, impactful seminars, and personal coaching. Our vision is to strengthen women in faith, to pursue purpose, and to walk in their God-ordained destiny. I am a co-pastor, intercessor, conference facilitator. I'm an author of a book called Anointed Words, a book of prayers. This book will help jumpstart your prayer life. If you don't know how to pray, I encourage you to purchase this book, Anointed Words, a book of prayers. I am also a life coach. Join me with my Dunamis Visions life coaching program. It will help you to discover what it is that God has created you for. Many times we don't know, or we get to a certain age and we feel that God don't have a purpose for us. We're too old, but that's not the case. You're never too old to fulfill the destiny that God has planned for you. You can visit me at my website, www.deborahreddick.ministry, or you can go on social media. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Deborah Reddick Ministries. I look forward to hearing from you. Contact me soon so we can discover what it is that God has purposed you for. Remember, if you don't know anything else, you are uniquely designed for His purpose. Blessings. Again, you are uniquely designed for His purpose. God bless you.
Hi everyone, my name is Veronique Pierre and I am the proud founder of Roses Without Thorns, Inc. Did you know 1 in 5 teen girls from the ages of 12 to 18 deal with mental illness? Well, my organization was founded off of my own personal experience and is here to support and help teenage girls overcome mental illness and distress. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, Roses Without Thorns, Inc., or my website, which is www.roseswithoutthornsinc.org. Bye.
Hey beautiful world, this is your girl Toshiba Arana Gordon, and I harmonize my life as a philanthropist, minister, fashion stylist, woman of God, but I like you to remember me as the hope dealer, never to be confused with the dope dealer, baby. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. We live in a society where people are hopeless. I'm here to uplift, encourage, and empower with a motivational platform that sees one message. That's hope. I am your girl, Toshiba Arana Gordon, the Hope Dealer.
This is Rhonda Sheffield with Rhonda Sheffield Enterprise, a life worth living. I am a board-certified life coach. My mission is to unite with women on their journey to discover the queen within and to develop your purpose and power to reach your God-given destiny. My vision is reclaiming your identity and taking back your freedom. Now, I am glad you asked. How can you reach me? You can reach me at www.rhondasheffield.com and all social media platforms, Rhonda Sheffield. Remember, your life is worth living. Bye-bye.
Hi, I am Dr. and Pastor Felicia Barnett, founder and CEO of Hannah's House Ministries, where our mission is to empower women to overcome life adversities through advocacy, accountability, and community-based programs that build faith and birth purpose. The vision for Hannah's House is to see women reconciled, restored, and resilient. I am also a spiritual coach as well as a motivational speaker.
My goal is to build a powerful network of beauty professionals and entrepreneurs. I mentor to a lot of cosmetology students because I'm committed to impacting over 100,000 beauty professionals, seeing the shift in somebody's confidence, seeing the shift in the growth in someone's business, seeing transformation, because your circumstances do not dictate your future. Who is ready to take their business to the next level? Who is ready to start a business Thank you for your passion. It's going to carry you through.
My name is Olajide Wilkerson. I am the CEO and founder of Hair Goddess Boutique. Hair Goddess Boutique is a one-stop shop for starting your hair business. We help hairstylists start their hair business by selling virgin hair extensions. We also offer online training through Hair Icon University. Our mission is for hairstylists to gain more clarity, confidence, and commitment to building a profitable business and creating an iconic brand. Start your hair business today with Hair Goddess Boutique.
Did you know that there's a diamond in you? Yeah, you! You got a diamond in you. We come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Fun fact, diamonds are only required to shine. They're not prejudiced, nor do they discriminate against. Now, if you're sitting there and you're asking yourself that question, how can I bring out the diamond in me? Then I'm your girl. My name is Tanika Goody. I am a coach, an author, published author, as well as a minister. How you can get in contact with me to help you get that desired diamond out of you so that you can shine and unearth the brilliancy in you. Hope to help you find that diamond.
All right, it's raffle time. Remember, I said to you, we have something in store for you. Now, pay attention. This is the important part, okay? The first person who inboxes that individual with their name and email address will be the lucky person to win the awesome prize. What are these raffles are? Well, let me tell you. You have Miss Belinda Grant. Miss Belinda's raffling off a 1-hour wellness coaching session. We have Miss Shirley Tolliver. Shirley is raffling off a 30-minute coaching session, including her Life on Power journal. We also have Miss Suzanne Joseph. Miss Suzanne is raffling off a Redirect journal. Last but not least, we have Miss Regina McNesh. Miss Regina McNesh is raffling off registration fee for season 6. We fight to tell stories, boys and girls aged 4 to 18. Listen, it's time to get it. It's about that time for our panel discussion. The first panel discussion will be on mental health. As you know, with the coronavirus, we have a lot of people who are going through things that have not yet realized or even figured out how to deal with it. We have these 3 dynamic women. We have Ms. Winston McLean, who is the moderator. We have Ms. Audrey Burke and also Ms. Veronique Pierre. Ladies, take it away.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our virtual pop-up shop panel discussion. Today, our focus is on mental health. And so I am joined with 2 other fabulous ladies, and we're going to talk all things mental health today. All right. So we're going to start off with Veronique. And Veronique, you focus primarily with our teens, young adult population, because you believe that it's very important for them to deal with their mental health. Tell us why this is so important to you.
Because at a young age, you're finding yourself. So it's crucial to adopt healthy mental tips that can help a child with social and emotional well-being, especially into adulthood. Because when I lost my father at a young age, my identity was extremely severed. And adopting the right tips and coping skills as a child, it will help any child to maintain healthy relationship with family, with friends, and even romantic relationship all the way up until adulthood.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, it's important because if our youngsters can start off early, getting their mental health intact, knowing how to manage their emotions, how to deal with their stressors, it will turn them into some really good adults. Because I know that, you know, we want our children to marry people who are mentally aware and their, you know, mental health is intact. So absolutely, it's important to start from a very, very young age. So I appreciate the work that you do with this demographic, because I think sometimes they're very underserved. So it's good that you have a heart to deal with that particular demographic. So we also have our Pastor Audrey here. She is a certified Christian counselor. So Pastor Audrey, we are very, very interested to hear, what are your clients saying? We are in the middle of a crisis. We are in a pandemic. Everybody is just going crazy. But what are your clients saying? How are they showing up when they reach out to you? What's going on with them?
Yes, you are right. We are in a crisis. We are dealing with this pandemic, and everybody is afraid. They are not sure, should they look at faith or should they look at fear. They don't know what to do because we're living in a time of uncertainty. Everything is up in the air. People are dying. They're losing their jobs. People are not having enough food, essential supplies. So we are definitely dealing with people that are not sure. Should I stand on my faith, or do I give in to what the media is saying, what social media is saying? Should I gravitate toward this fear and panic and do all of these things that the fear is telling me to do? Or do I trust God and just have faith and stand strong on his word, knowing that this too shall pass?
Those are two little tiny words, faith and fear, but they are so impactful because they really depict what people are truly going through. It's like, I want to believe, but it's so hard to believe. I want to stand on my faith, but it's so hard, you know, to stand on my faith. So yes, those might sound like simple words, but I believe that people are truly, truly struggling as it relates to how do I balance the faith versus fear factor. So I appreciate you sharing that. And so we alluded to the crisis, right? And so in the midst of this crisis, we are now quarantined. We are in the home. Couples are with each other longer than they've ever been. Parents are now teachers and professors, and it's just crazy. So I want to hear from you ladies. How do you think that the mental health of people within our communities are being impacted by this time of quarantine?
Well, people feel that they have no control over the whole situation, especially I'm an introvert, but you know, sometimes I want to be able to go out and spend time with my family, my friends. I want to be able to go to a social event. And now, even especially with extroverts, now that they're being, you know, cut off from the rest of the world, they're not attending these social events like they used to. They're not, you know, physically connected to people like they used to. So some people feel frustrated. They even feel stressed, not having that physical connection with everyone. And then when you're being bombarded by all the information on social media, it's overwhelming. It's depressing because all you're hearing is all the bad news. You're not hearing about, you know, the good stuff of people, you know, recovering from the conflict. You're not hearing about, you know, all the positive thing that's going on. All you're hearing is about this is what's happening, and it just causes so much stress, so much depression, so much because you don't have control over the whole situation. So a lot of people are stressed out right now.
Right.
So their faith are, you know, it's not as strong as it used to be, because I'm a very faithful person. I, you know, walk by, you know, faith not by sight. But a lot of people is, when the sight is dirty, you know, you just, sometimes you lose that faith. You're like, God, where are you? When are you going to stop this? When are you going to show that you're real, that you're going to be able to get us through this? So I think that's where people are questioning God more than before. And it's just how you hold on to that faith, to continue to feel that, you know, we're going to get out of this and still be able to, you know, see the better end of all of this.
Absolutely. Pastor Audrey?
As I said earlier, people are dealing with the faith over the fear. So, as you know, when we're left alone with our own thoughts, that's when we definitely have to decide, do I stand on my faith, or do I run scared and allow these fears to overtake my thoughts? So, this isolation has brought us face to face with our own selves. And I do believe that this could be a good thing, because it can impact our faith in a way that it makes us draw closer to God. We acknowledge our faith a lot stronger. We spend more time with God, which in turn does what? Chases that fear away. So I think that during this time of isolation, yes, we are left alone with our thoughts, but it can be a good thing.
Wow.
We can spending more time with ourselves and in the Word. It builds our faith. So when we come out of this, we come out stronger.
That's good. That's good, Pastor Audrey. I like it. I like it. And so what I'm hearing you say, though, is that we have to make a decision. We have to decide how we come out of this. What am I doing during this time? Am I spending like real quality time with my family? Am I spending time in the Word? Am I developing my faith to really connect with the Lord? We have to make a decision as to how it is that we're spending this time. Yeah, we can be frustrated all day, but our frustration is not going to move the needle, right? No. It's not going to really, you know, impact anything. But are we developing ourselves during this time of quarantine, during this time of just different? It's just different. This is our new normal. You know, some people would describe it. And so we have to really think about what we're doing with the time. AKA, I have learned how to play poker, y'all, because my husband and my godson, that is their game, and that's what they want to do. And so I have learned, and I be beating them. I be really beating them. Oh my goodness. But so thank God for the quarantine, because I learned a new game, right? But you know, I really want us to take a moment, though, and talk about entrepreneurs, because I know without a doubt that entrepreneurs are being affected during this time. Entrepreneurship in general requires some mental fortitude. You got to have some mental tenacity to continue to do the work, even when you don't get the clients, when you don't get the contract, right? And so we oftentimes talk about the 7 vulnerabilities of entrepreneurship that include stress, uncertainty, social isolation, impression management, a predisposition to mental health issues, or even a lack of mental health resources. Sometimes entrepreneurs also they're faced with identity and self-worth issues, right? And so when we think about everything that's going on, not just with the quarantine, but I know that all 3 of us as women, we are entrepreneurs. We're on an entrepreneurial journey. So how do you ladies think that entrepreneurs are really impacted as it relates to their mental health?
Well, according to the Gallup Wellbeing Index report, around 45% entrepreneurs go through stress and anxiety. They lack the especially right now, they lack the self of confidence because they don't know if their business will continue to survive during this whole pause period. So right now, they have to be more creative. They have to think of different marketing strategies in order to survive, to keep their business going through this whole pause moment. So you guys, I guess, are we supposed to get into the tips or?
Yeah, no. Okay. So yeah, absolutely. So they are definitely faced with crisis, but here's what I want us to do as we are wrapping up our discussion today. Veronique, I want you to give parents maybe 2 or 3 tips, right, that they can utilize in order to ensure that they're keeping a pulse on the mental health of their young people. Pastor Audrey, I want you to give us some tips on how do we tackle this thing of faith over fear. And then I will close out with just giving some tips to entrepreneurs as it relates to their mental health and maintaining in this time. So Veronique, go ahead and give parents some tips.
The steps that they can do to cope with mental illness is try to be active as much as possible, as far as exercising, walking, or doing different type of activity with their kids. Create a routine, such as starting a project. Some parents are working from home. They can, create a routine as far as, working from home, as well as spending time with their kids and being connected with their kids as much as possible. And the third one is prevent the spread of the COVID by social distancing from other family and friends, washing your hands to remain healthy, and other safety precautions.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Pastor Audrey.
Yes, of course. How to deal during this pandemic, faith over fear. Of course, spend time in the Word. Upgrade your time with God because He will lead and direct you the way you should go. So that's the most important thing, is to spend quality time in the Word so that you can hear the voice of God that will drown out that fear. And then second, redirect your fear. And we can do that by controlling what we control. Don't get all stressed out trying to do things that are out of your control. Readjust your routine. Manage your routine by changing your routine to fit the new normal. Do self-care things. Whatever it is that makes you feel happy and joyous, do that. For me, it's music. So whatever it is, do self-care. And lastly, seek wise counsel. If you need support, don't be afraid to ask for it. Reach out to your friends, your pastor, professionals, to get the help that you need, because we are in a place that we've never been before.
Absolutely. And Veronique says she beat that face to the gods. That's her self-care, Lord. Absolutely. And so I just want to end with giving some tips as well to entrepreneurs, right, in order to maintain their mental health. Veronique alluded to it. We have to remain physical. We have to eat right. We have to move. We have to walk. We have to just allow our faces to see the sun. Like, get from behind the computer sometimes and just walk outside and get some fresh air. I think that's very, very important. Also, entrepreneurs, think about connecting with individuals that are, doing things that you're doing, similar support systems, a support group, a coach, a mentor, individuals that can support you and support your vision in moving it forward. Don't get stuck in isolation. It's not good for you to be alone. Also, deal with your past trauma. your past trauma is going to show up in the way that you show up in your business. And so it's so important that you deal with low self-esteem, low self-worth, because when you sit in those meetings and you're going after those contracts, that low self-esteem is going to show up if it is not dealt with. So deal with your past trauma. And also, finally, know that you've been graced for this. God has given you the anointing to do that work, whether it's like Veronique working with our youngsters, our teenagers, our young adults, or it's Pastor Audrey with working with individuals, couples, families, or myself, who as well works with individuals, couples, or family. Whomever it is that God has called you to work with, you are graced for it. You have the wherewithal to complete your assignment. So I just want to thank you ladies, Veronique, Pastor Audrey, thank you very much for this wonderful conversation that we were able to have today virtually. Nothing stopped the progress. We're still popping up, and we're popping up virtually. So ladies, thank you very much for this wonderful conversation. And to our audience, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
God's doing a new thing, yeah. Get ready for overflow, 'cause I'm getting ready. Something I've never seen. Prophesy over your life, say I'm getting ready to see. Oh, oh, something I've never seen. Say I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready. Oh, oh, something I've never seen. Say it again. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to see. Something I've never seen. Let's say it together. Say eyes haven't seen. Eyes haven't seen. Come on, say and ears haven't heard. Ears haven't heard. What? The kind of blessing, yeah, the kind of blessing that's about to fall on me. Say victory is here. Victory is here. It kicked defeat out the door. God's doing a new thing. Get ready. Get ready. Now throw your hands up, say I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to see. Oh, something I've never seen. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to see. God's about to blow my mind. That's something I've never seen. Say, I'm getting ready. Oh, yes, I am. Something I've never seen. It's bigger than I can imagine. I'm getting ready to see. Oh, something I've never seen.
God's kingdom is also the reign and rule of God in our hearts, in our lives right now.
If you see yourselves as kingdom citizens, as children of God, then you need vision.
Your success is always contingent upon your ability to consistently evaluate, am I making the best use of the resources God has given me? So invest time with God regularly. Ask Him, Lord, where do you want me to sow these funds that you've given me? To see past their current situation, past their current condition, and see them from God's perspective and give them honor.
You got to do what you got to do to take care of yourself and to guard against and put boundaries around yourself and other people. But never lose sight of the real war. The war and our real opponent.
Show me the money.
Was looking good, but I think I'm taking too long. Back to the spot for it. Head full of stacks, better grab an umbrella, I make it rain.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I want money. Pay my bills.
I got bills, I gotta pay, so I'm gonna work every day. Money, 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 money.
All right, it's about that time. It's raffle time. Now remember the rules. You have to be the first person who inboxes that individual with your first and last name and your email address. Now this set of raffles, we have Miss Shanique Pender. She's raffling off her Unmasked Journal. We also have Coach Sierra Hilaire. Sierra's raffling off her book, 10 Keys to Self-Care, as well as a 30-minute coaching session with her. Last but not least, we have Pastor Deborah Reddick. Pastor Deborah Reddick is raffling off a prayer book. Oh my gosh, this is so great. Get and go. All right, guys, it is now time for our second segment. This is for the creative panel. How many of you guys know God was creative? I mean, He created the sun, the moon, the stars. Should I go on? Now, this is my favorite panel because I'm a part of it, but no. But in any case, we have Miss Marie Simmons. She will be the moderator. We have Miss Patrice Reed, Miss Ebony Nicole Smith, and me, Regine Joseph. Let's get it. Let's go.
All right. Oh, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Creative Panel. I am the moderator, M. Denise Simmons, Creative Director of MD Simmons Productions, and I have the honor of moderating this wonderful panel. So because you all had an opportunity to get exposed and learn about these creatives and these beautiful women, we're just going to jump right into the questions. Y'all ready?
Yes.
All right. So my first question, and I love asking creatives this. How did you get to the point where you were able to infuse your creative gifts with your business? So I want Ebony, I want you to start off. Like, how were you able to get to that point where you were able to infuse your creative gift with your business?
Oh, by just being authentically me. I have so many different avenues of how I can pull people into what I do. I just choose whatever feels good for me at that time. So even if it's just a photograph of me being silly, if it's some inspirational words, if it's me telling and sharing my truth, that's how I get to be creative in my business. And as a writing coach, and I'm encouraging people to tell their story, I have to be bold enough to share my story, whatever part of it is that I'm going to share. So I can quote myself or quote something that someone else has said to me. That's how I become creative and infuse that with my business.
I love that. I love that. And as a writer and as a writing coach, that's pretty dope. And for you, Ola, you're a mogul hair icon in the beauty industry. How are you able to infuse those creative gifts with your business?
Well, to be honest with you, being in the industry for 12 years, you have to be very creative. You have to stay in tune with technology, with fashion, and even, of course, with the hair industry, right? You all know every 3 months, new styles are dropping. So you really have to see like foresight, right? You got to be ahead of the wave. And that means you trying new things, stepping out of your comfort zone, right? So honestly, that's how I use my creative within my business. And when it comes to my university, because I'm the leader, I have to always invest in myself, try new tactics, go to conferences, and bring that information back to my students.
I love that. I love that. And that's making sure you're staying on top of the industry and just knowledge base. So that's dope. We have our PR experts. So how are you able to be dynamic and so dope and infuse those creative gifts in your company?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that I'm a talk show host on the Push Talk Show. So knowing that my clients have to go out and get media spots, they're going to be on different TV shows or getting interviews, I use that by having them come on, and that's a part of their development and training in the media, getting ready for when they go out to other media outlets. So that's how I.
That's dope. That's dope. I love that. And last but not least, we have our creative strategist here, Regine. And I love that you've been able to just evolve craft and conversation. So share with us how you were able to just infuse, like what got you to that point where you saw that you were able to infuse these creative gifts with your business.
Well, first I had to learn adults. Because adults are difficult sometimes. And what God gave me, because I always have to go back into my closet with God so he can give me great insight. And so what he gave me was go back into that childlike state. So I use crafting to have my clients go back into a childlike state. And that's how I'm able to infuse it into my coaching sessions. So I take you to a child so that you can open up. So if I can get to your root of your issues, when you feel like I am no longer judging you, then we can make some major changes and I can help you become the greatest version of yourself.
Wow. It sounds like you're able to just go back to the foundation, like just the innocence of it. And it helps people to just be vulnerable and free. That's dope.
Thank you.
That's dope. So as a creative, what has been the most challenging part being a creative and working your business and working your ministry? Because I know for me, the most challenging part as a creative is sometimes I just want to stay in the mode of creation. I just want to create. I see it in my mind. I just want to stay there. But I know that there are day-to-day operations. You got to call, you got to go to this meeting, and it just stops the creative flow. So I would like to hear from you experts, like what has been the most challenging part in being a creative, and how have you guys been able to, what's the strategy or tip that you've been able to implement that helps you to overcome that? And I'll start with you, Patrice.
All right, I think for me is knowing what to outsource. Because being a creative, especially if you know how to do a lot of things, you're very talented in certain areas. Knowing how to outsource, what to outsource, and being comfortable with that, with letting that part of it go, because you want to be able to do everything because you know how to do it. And I don't think I'm a control freak, but at the same time, still being okay with saying, okay, I'm going to let someone do this part of the PR to help my clients, so I don't feel overwhelmed. And so that's for me is like the challenging part. So I would say just have a network of people that you can depend on, you're confident in their work that they can also produce on the same level as you.
Smart woman. And you, Ola.
Okay, well, for me, I would definitely have to piggyback off of you, Patrice, when it comes to knowing what to outsource. That honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, that is something that I am still even working on. Being in business for 12 years, I'm not going to get into the drama of it, but of course there have been many setbacks. There have been many broken partnerships. There have been many broken dreams, right? And so that requires me having to use my failures as feedback, right? And really learning, okay, what do I need? What don't I need? Who do I ask for help? Making sure they're qualified, right? Making sure I'm not overextending my boundary. So as a creative, if I can be in alignment with myself and my vision, then, my creative energy is able to flow and I'm able to set up those partnerships and those outsourcing when it comes to products and people.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
Awesome.
you
Yeah.
said that right there. And for you, Regine,
Yes.
what's been challenging for you?
To be very transparent, the challenging portion for me is balancing work life balance. Being a single mother, having 4 children, and having this business and having clientele, and being a serial entrepreneur, it is balancing. So like you guys, learning how to outsource, learning how to call and just say, hey, I need you, or I just need to hear from you. Because what happens is when we get into our own selves, it stunts our creativity.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's life. It's life. It happens, But when we have a great work-life balance, and sometimes people say that doesn't really exist, but I call that family, where I can call an event, or I can just call and just throw ideas back, or even say, hey, to my children, hey, I need a moment. It works. And then it enables me to become even more creative and think bigger outside the box, or paint outside the lines, like somebody said.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that Ola and Regine, y'all are being real transparent, because that's what's important. Because as a creative, like, we deal with the real, because we make what we see come to life so that everybody can experience. And I'm so grateful that you guys are being honest, all of you all, and are sharing some tips. And so, Ebony, what about you as a writer, as a writing coach? Like, what is most challenging for you?
For me, is to set priorities. I can have 5 tasks that I need to accomplish today, and I'll make all 5 the top priority. And what I'll do is, and I'll be honest too, transparent like my sisters, was so difficult. I want to get it all done. And I know I got the same 24 hours as everyone else, but my priorities, when it comes, I want to do, instead of having like 3 top priorities, I'll make all 5 the top 3.
Wow.
And so I'll dab in this one for like an hour, dab in that one for another hour. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, I didn't complete any of my tasks. So being a business owner, it stunts my creativity, because I'm like, okay, I need to go ahead and get this done. And then an idea just downloads, and I'm like, okay, shifting. I'm like, oh, no, wait, I got to, but yeah, that for me, it's prioritizing, making sure that those top 3, setting it to top 3, and working those 3, and then moving on to the final 2, or however many thereafter, and not feeling, and that helps me not to become overwhelmed as well with my work.
And I love that you said that, because you got to be real with yourself. Like, you're not
the burnout.
You can't do exactly the burnout, because the burnout is real, and that will stump your creativity as a creative. You burnt out, things just stop flowing.
It really will.
So that leads me to my individual questions that I want to ask you guys. And these are very intimate questions, specifically for each and every one of you all. And I really want you all to just really impart your wisdom on these creatives, on people that are listening right now. So my first question is to Patrice, because I also have a PR, public relations background. I went to school for it. And although I'm not specifically working in it, I struggle with getting people to kind of understand the purpose and the reason that you need PR. And so I want you to kind of talk to those individuals and explain to them at what point is it necessary and important for them to include public relations, a PR professional in their business and what they're doing.
Well, one of the first things I would say is make sure you have a finished project or product and you're ready. And another thing also is making sure that you have the time to invest in also promoting. What have you been doing to actually get yourself ready? Have you been doing your part in promoting and getting the word out there about what the project or the business or whatever it is that you're doing? And then when you've exhausted all of your platforms or your where you have influence, then it's now time to call in a PR person, because now we have to get ready to get you exposed more on a global further. Another thing I would say is just the time and making sure you have money, having that money in your budget ready to pay, because PR is not cheap. It's a lot of work that it entails, and the more I do it, the more I'm like, wow. Sometimes
Yeah.
I feel like I'm charging little, but I should be charging a little bit more, because you have to have that time. Also, as a public relations personnel, to put into that client. So the client also has to have the time to get you, help you gather that information that you need as well. Getting to know, time in the sense of, I want to get to know you as the client, so I could better tell your story to the public in that way. So those are just a few.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ola, why are you so passionate about mentoring other hairstylists, and what drives that passion? Like, I see that is the core of what you do, and you have your Hair Icon University. It's all about giving back. Like, why are you so passionate?
I'm gonna be honest with you, like I said, 12 years. I was presented 12 years ago with the opportunity. However, I did not receive a blueprint. Therefore, I had to Google how to start my business. Over 5 different locations, 5 different failures, break-ins, broken partnerships, right? I am passionate because I want to give the world, my mission is to impact over 100,000 individuals and entrepreneurs, right? Hairstylists, beauty professionals, to create, number one, a business system where they can earn 6 figures. Number one, the 3 keys. You have got to have a clear business vision, clear team vision. Then you need to develop a business system, and then you need to have earning passive income opportunities.
Yes,
and even today in this crisis, I am falling back on my digital passive income asset that is earning me money right now. This is why I'm passionate. Generational wealth for our community.
That's right.
Come on, yes. Did you guys hear that?
I love it.
Pull up for president. You got my vote.
I take my vote back. She got my vote. She got my vote. Mine too.
I love it. I love it. And that's what, and it's so important, like, especially in our community, Black communities, we got to really inspire and impart in each other generational wealth. All right. So my next question is for Ebony. Ebony, how do you get, and because writing is beautiful, and I know it's something, because words are powerful.
Yes, they are.
But how do you get people to be so comfortable with you as their writing coach, where they can write these phenomenal books?
Well, a funny thing is, I let them talk, and occasionally I'll throw in a question here to have them expound more on what they have already said, if I need more details about it. And the beautiful thing is, most of my clients, the majority of my clients, when they come to me and we're having our consultation, and then they become my clients, and when we go forth and we have our weekly or monthly conversations, they become open to me because I allow them to speak, and more than likely I relate to what they're talking about. So when they tell me, oh, I've been through this, I'm dealing with that, is either a personal, something that I personally have experienced, or I know someone close to me that has gone through what they have survived. And so that gains their trust. Like, okay, so she's not just saying she understands. She truly does understand.
Wow.
Right. I know, people can always say, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. How? And then they can go off and tell you something completely different. Mm-hmm. Like, well, Ola, somebody can say, I know how to build. I know exactly what you're talking about, making a 6-figure income. How?
Mm-hmm.
And do you really know how to do it, or do you just know how because you watch someone else? But what is what can you show me? What can you share with me to make me trust? Okay, you know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So as I gain that trust from my clients, and they'll begin to open up, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I know exactly what you mean, and here's how. Because I follow up with and I'll tell them, this is how I can relate to what you're sharing, and then this is how I can relate to what you're sharing. And that opens up a lot of trust between the two of us.
Wow, that's beautiful. And it sounds like, too, you're also building relationships.
Yes,
With
absolutely.
your clients.
Absolutely.
That's longevity. All right. My last question to my last person of this hour, Regine. How do you get into your creative space where you allow God to use you in such a prophetic way? Because I've had an opportunity to experience a few of your crafts and conversations, and it definitely takes, it's like something you got to be there to experience. So how do you get into that space where God just uses you in that way?
To be honest with you, before listen, it's hard to get in that space because I get nervous. I get nervous around people. So one thing I always have to do is pray. And literally it's me going away. And I know it sounds like it's a cliche answer, but I have to, because I have to ask God to increase as I decrease myself in that position. Because I remember it's not about me. It's
right.
Gave me things to do and how to allow people to open up. So that's the way I do it. So after I go to God and I ask God, okay, Lord, increase as I decrease myself. I put you forth, then I go forth. And then one thing I love to do, and like you guys, I allow people to be vulnerable. I think if I allow you to be yourself and to show you a little bit of me, you'll show me more of you. So now we've gotten to that point where I'm showing you me, because if you look at the statistics, if you allow someone in just a little, they're more likely to trust you to give you more than you ever gave to them. So now I'm back, okay, so now I've learned, if I give you a little bit of me, tell you a little bit about my story, allow you to get comfortable, now I can flow prophetically. So now, of course, we're crafting, and as we're crafting, I'm getting you into this childlike state. And now I'm asking you these impactful questions. I'm now digging into the issue without you even realizing it, because you're so busy on painting this picture, which, let me say, we're just not painting and crafting, it actually is symbolic. A lot of times it's what we're feeling in our inner body, we're actually putting out on paper or on cards or on a journal. So after we've done this, now we're dissecting what you actually created. So now we're going in, okay, now this is where God used me. Show me exactly what they placed down on this canvas. Show me exactly what they placed on this journal, and allow me to let them know how great they are through your word. And that's how we got crafted conversation. So praise be to God.
Praise Him.
And it's definitely something, like I said, you definitely have to experience. And I definitely see it as something like the sipping teas and the paint and twist, like crafted conversations.
It's coming. I received that.
It worked. It worked. Her crafted conversation works. I have posted a couple of days ago a brief I created, because this COVID-19 and everything, I'm a single woman, so I'm at home alone, and I'm becoming was becoming overwhelmed with everything, and I started crafting. I remember her crafting conversation, and it was just me and God just talking. Times I was just listening to Him, and times I was just talking, and it was beautiful. So I had to commend her on that crafts and conversations. I remembered from last year, and it helped me this year. So great job.
And stuff like that is what tells me you need to keep going.
Absolutely,
those type of stories are the ones that say, hey, no one has what you have. This is yours.
It is.
So use it and help people. And that blessed me, by the way, because I reposted that.
Yeah.
It blessed me.
I already have ideas on pitching, Regine. I'm already thinking, okay, I need to pitch this. I'm already thinking,
The PR wheels are turning. Well, ladies, I had a phenomenal time just engaging and listening to you guys, because y'all also just imparted in my spirit as a creative. And at this time, like, this is something where we just need impartation of creativity. And so thank you all. And thank you all for just watching our creative panel. And we'll see you next time. Bye, ladies.
My proof puts me in a space
ways of believing who I am. You will be who you believe, not who you want and not what you say. You will be what you believe.
My biggest takeaway from today's event is we all have a story to tell. So no matter what point of life we're in, it's always possible to be all we can.
All women are powerful, and we have to search within to bring that power out of us. And then also recognizing in collaboration, you find so much strength in being with another powerful woman.
I live my life on power with faith, family, and friends. And remembering as I give to them, they give back to me and add to my life.
Hello Houston, this is Audrey Brooks and this is Women Empowering Women. Hi, Monica. How you doing? Nice to see you.
So the three tenets that we believe in is empowering, encouraging, and educating. So we always incorporate these three tenets in everything that we do.
Thank you for coming out. This means the world to me because this has been a dream of mine for so long. And God has finally birthed my vision.
Okay, it is now time for our fitness break. Now this is the time, if you would like, you can go ahead and use the bathroom, stretch a little bit, or you can stay right here and get our workout on. Let's move.
What's up guys, welcome to today's full body Tabata workout. We have 8 killer moves that we're gonna get through. I'm gonna give you 20 seconds to work your butt off and then 10 seconds to rest and recover. You don't need any equipment for this one, so just clear some space and follow along. We're getting started right now. it, guys. Your full body Tabata workout is complete. Nice work.
Ladies, you did amazing, I must say. Now, our next segment that we have is our wellness segment. Everyone needs wellness in their lives, especially for a time like this. We have our moderator, who is Miss Sierra Hilaire. We have Suzanne Joseph. We have Miss Belinda Grant, and also Pastor Deborah Reddick. Let's roll, ladies.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sierra Hilaire. I am so excited to be here today with all of these amazing women that you see here on this screen. Today we are going to talk about wellness and how that relates to us personally and professionally. But before we get into our panel, I just want to say hello and welcome again. My name is Sierra Hilaire. I am a certified self-care strategist, and my ultimate mission and passion in life is to see women activated to be authentic, balanced, and free, to relentlessly pursue their purpose through practical strategies, solutions, and support. And so I believe that God has given me an assignment to help women, specifically female entrepreneurs, to help them in their daily lives in pursuit of their purposes, through managing stress and, oh my goodness, simplifying their lives, because things can be so overwhelming at times, and also becoming self-sufficient while they're building six-figure faith-based businesses. And so I'm just excited to be here today and have a panel conversation with these amazing women. And so before I get into it, like I said, we're going to talk about wellness. And so I want to define what wellness is, because that may look different for everybody. Our approach to wellness may be different, but wellness is the state of being in good health, especially as an actively pursued goal. And so in everything that we're pursuing, everything that we plan, everything that we're preparing in our businesses, wellness is always a priority for us, and that is a pursued goal. And so with that being said, I want to welcome the first guest, Miss Suzanne. Just tell us who you are, Suzanne, and what you do.
Hi, everyone. My name is Suzanne Joseph. I am a wellness strategist. I am the founder of the Redirect Your Choices program, which we have created to help empower women by redirecting their choices, by promoting physical, mental, spiritual wellness in their life, by having a renewed perspective, finding their purpose, and to create positive results. Our vision is to restore lives and release them for greater. So thank you for having me on. I'm a speaker. I am an author of the book, Redirect Your Choices.
Yes, you are. And I am blessed to be connected to you. God is moving mightily in your life. He is doing amazing things with you. The lives that are going to be touched by your program, Redirect Your Choices, it's going to be truly impactful. And so the question that I have for you, Suzanne, is what is wellness to you?
Wellness to me is making healthier choices and taking those choices and implementing them in my life, physically, spiritually, and mentally. It's not just about focusing on an illness. It's putting myself in a renewed perspective for change and for growth. I believe that wellness should be implemented in all areas of your life. And that's what it means to me, to make healthier choices and to be healthier inside, to take care of you, within. That's what it means to me.
Awesome. And that's so important that we take care of ourselves internally and externally. So that's really, really good. And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So my next guest who is about to share with you guys is none other than Miss Berlinda. Welcome, Berlinda. Go ahead and tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Hello, everyone. My name is Berlinda Grant. I am a registered nurse. I'm a wellness strategist and the founder of Perfect Imperfection. And I am on a mission for every woman to embrace their perfect imperfection through self-awareness, customized coaching, and engaging events that promote optimal wellness that maximizes your potential, possibilities, and your purpose.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. I love it. Love it. Once again, welcome, Miss Berlinda. And so my question to you is, why is wellness so important?
Wellness is very, very important. And it's important because it makes the difference in your overall quality of life. And Suzanne, you mentioned it a little bit ago that wellness is really a priority. And we need to make it a priority. And it's our own responsibility to do that. So, Sierra, you can support me in my wellness. Suzanne and Pastor Deborah, you all can help support me in what I need to do in the area of wellness. But it's really my own responsibility, and we each need to make a commitment to our wellness. I look at it with 8 dimensions, all right? Environmental, emotional, financial, intellectual, occupational wellness, physical, social, and most importantly, spiritual wellness. So that's 8 dimensions, and it's not, you might say, okay, that's a lot to try to balance. And it's a little more than balance. It's not like juggling them, like doing a juggling act. It's like you would have like a crank, and it's intertwined with something else, and it all move like in synchrony. It's something like that. So I'm gonna look at it from a nursing perspective. So we have different body systems: neurological system, cardiovascular, pulmonary, gastrointestinal system. All of those, you think of wellness as the blood that flows through your whole human body. It feeds each body system, bringing oxygen-rich nutrients to each one of them, which keeps it alive, keeps it moving, keeps it flowing right. So if you have a lack to any one of those system blood flow, it gets necrotic and it'll die.
Right.
So if you think of pain is an indication that something is wrong. And in order we have to pay attention to that. First thing we know that something's not right, we need to address it, put some interventions in place, and then continue to monitor that using a meter to, something's not right, and make sure we repeat that same process. Right. Address it, put some intervention in place, and then monitor it.
Love it. Love it. That was great. And especially with what's going on in our country right now, surrounding this crisis that we call coronavirus, I believe that this is the season where your wellness has to be a priority above any and everything: your mental, your spiritual, your emotional, your financial, all of the different dimensions that you talked about. This is the time where wellness must be a priority. And so just to piggyback on what Berlinda said, we want to encourage everybody, if wellness has not been that thing for you, if it has not really been something you've been intentional and made a priority, we just want to encourage you to make your wellness a priority in this season. You have 4 women right here ready, available to help you put strategies and plans in place to help you get focused and make your wellness a priority. And so thank you, Berlinda, for sharing that. That was really good. And so the next guest that we are going to hear from is none other than Pastor Deborah herself. Go ahead, Pastor Deborah. Welcome, and let everyone know who you are and what you do.
Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Deborah Reddick. I am the founder of Deborah Reddick Ministries. And the mission of this ministry is to encourage, to empower, and enrich the lives of women in body, in soul, and in spirit. And the way we do this is through life-altering conferences, impactful seminars, and personal coaching. I am a co-pastor. I am an author of a book called The Anointed Words, and it's a book of prayers. I am a life coach. I do personal life coaching as well as group sessions. So I am so happy to be here. And the vision of my vision is what my passion is to strengthen women in faith for their purpose, their God-ordained purpose. We get so caught up in doing so many other things. But what is it that God has called us to do? And that's what I have a passion to help women to understand. It doesn't matter how old you are, God still have a purpose for you.
Amen. Amen. I love it. Thank you for sharing that with us. So my question to you would be, how do you maintain wellness even in the midst of sickness?
Sierra, that is an excellent question, and I thank you for asking me that. And the reason why I feel that it's an excellent question, over the last 3 years, I've had some challenges, some physical challenges. So as it relates to illness and disease, I still had to think about wellness. See, having a physical temporary disability, no matter what the illness or the sickness is, it still has nothing to do with wellness per se. And what I mean by that is that wellness also is a state of mind.
Yes.
We have to first hear this before I go to the state of mind. What we have to do is, and I'm talking from personal experience here. First, I had to realize that I was sick physically, that there was nothing that I did to bring on the sickness, and all I could do was do as the doctor said and what God had told me. So when you're sick, you make sure you understand that you're not the fault. Many times we're not the reason why we're sick. And if we're not the reason why we're sick, once we acknowledge the fact that there is something going on, you have to have a conscious, intentional, made up mind that you're not going to allow this sickness to cause you to not be strengthening. And be strengthening is to have a positive mind. You have to have a positive mind, no matter what's going on around you, what's going on inside of you. Everything starts in the mind. So one of the things I had to do is have a positive mindset. Then I had to surround myself with people that was not there to bring death upon me. I had to have people, a good support system, people that was going to put positivity, encourage you and lift you up, even on those days when you weren't feeling your best. Remember, your mind plays a very important part of your healing process. And even in that, after I kept the mindset, encouraged, and had people around me, then I had to make a decision. Now, when you're sick, you have to make a decision whether you're going to stay in that state of mind, meaning, okay, I know that I'm sick, but what am I going to do while I'm sick? God has a purpose for me. So am I going to sit here? I'm going to continue to go to my doctor visit and complain? You can't complain. We know that there's death and life in the power of the tongue. So you have to begin to speak positive affirmations. Today, I shall live and not die. I don't care what it looked like. God has greater purpose. Whatever the affirmation is for you, how I handle something or how someone else handled it may be different, but we have to make sure that we are surrounded by people that love us in spite of our condition. Amen. So for me, all I can say is allow your mind to help heal you. Allow what God has placed inside of you to help heal you. So even in the midst of sickness, wellness is attainable.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And I definitely agree with that. And so, ladies, I thank you all for just giving us a nugget and a little insight into your approach to wellness and what that looks like for you. And so as we wrap up, I just want you guys to share how is it that if those watching want to connect with you, work with you, attend something that you may have going on, how will they be able to do that? So Susan, you can start first, and Berlinda, you can jump right in after Susan, and then you, Pastor Deborah, and then I'll just close us out.
All right. And before I do that, Sierra, I have a question for you. How do you help your clients maintain wellness? Because you are a self-care, strategist, and you're really great at what you do. So how do you help your clients?
Thank you. Thank you. That's a really great question. Me, I lead by example first and foremost. I make sure that my wellness is a priority, because that is the impartation that I want to make into my clients. And so for me, wellness is 4-dimensional. It's financial, it's relational, it's spiritual, and it's also physical. And so I help my clients strategically by making sure that those 4 components of them are intact. And so, for example, I recommend different supplemental products to my clients that I personally use to help me feel better. I help my clients strategize, their goals and their vision to build a business so they can be financially self-sufficient, because I understand how our finances really play a key role in our wellness, and that can throw everything off at times if we be real. And so relationships, I'm married. I know that if my marriage is not a priority, and if things aren't intact in that order, it will hinder my ability to build effectively. And so I have those conversations with my clients. I ask them, how are things going between you and your spouse? How are things with you and your children? Because we have to talk about that stuff. We have to create plans and strategies around that. So when the enemy comes, you are equipped to handle and navigate so you can continue building and moving forward. And so those are just a few ways that I help my clients stay focused and practice self-care as they pursue their purpose. And I thank you for asking me that question, because this is something I believe that female entrepreneurs struggle with balancing it all, because it can be stressful and overwhelming at times, and so I'm just honored that God not only used me to be a voice and to be to have the mantle to carry this assignment in the marketplace, but I thank him for all of my past and prior experiences that continue to build me and teach me and sharpen me so that I can be effective in everything that I'm doing to glorify him. So,
amen. Amen. Yes. Thank you for that. Thank God for Coach. Where you can find me. You can find me on Instagram, Suzanne Joseph _ENT on Instagram, and on social media, Suzanne Joseph Enterprise. Everything you need to know about Suzanne will be on those pages. If you're looking for a community to join for support, follow us on Redirect Your Choices. We give daily support. And I want to thank you for the opportunity for me to be able to let the viewers know who I am and the product that I have to offer. So I want to thank you for this opportunity.
Awesome.
All right. For me, I'm on social media. It's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also YouTube, Berlinda Grant. My website is berlindagrant.com. All right. So reach out to me there. And likewise, thank you so much, Sierra, for having me.
Awesome.
Hi, thank you again, Sierra. This has been a pleasure just spending time with you ladies. Thank you so much for allowing us to have this platform. If you want to get in touch with me, you can, my website is www.deborahreddickministries.com. I am on social media. You can reach me Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram with Deborah Reddick Ministries. I look forward to hearing from you, each of you, and God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much, Sierra.
Amen. Amen. Again, it was definitely an honor and pleasure to come on and have a conversation. And so I'm going to do it a little different, y'all. I ain't going to tell people if, listen, you need me in your life.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
in your life, okay? And so you
right. That's right.
with me on social media.
That's right.
All across the board, Facebook, Instagram. I am also on Pinterest at Sierra Hilaire. And you can visit my website, sierrahilaire.com, SIERRAHILAIRE.com. I look forward to connecting. Listen, I talk back. So if you send me a friend request, comment, engage, I will engage with you.
Yes.
So, ladies, once again, have a blessed day. Thank you all for joining. And God bless you guys. We pray that something that was said brings about some type of change or provokes a thought or inspires you to just do better and take care of yourself, because you have something great on the inside of you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Push Talk Show with your host, Patrice PR Reed, your PR networker. But it's really purpose, unwavering, supernatural humility. Purpose when you know what you're supposed to be doing and you're walking in that and with confidence. You know your mandate, you know your assignment, and unwavering in your faith, knowing that God has placed this in your heart. He has given you the ability to do it. And supernatural, knowing that the supernatural hand of God, He's a God of the supernatural. He makes things that seem impossible possible. And humility, there is a humility that comes when you are confident, when you know what you're about, whose you are, and who your target audience is, like who it is that you must speak to and must impart into. You know, this show will be filled with ministry leaders, kingdom entrepreneurs, artists, the performing arts, anyone who just has a desire to serve.
Hello. Thank you for joining the demonstration. Today, I'm going to show you how to register and start your business with Hair Goddess Boutique's new program, Hair Icon Society. In Hair Icon Society, you're able to start your hair business in less than 15 minutes for under $100. Let's dive in. So at Hair Goddess Boutique, they are the #1 vendor, offering over 100 textures of hair. We have developed a new way, a better way, which is Hair Icon Society. It's a one-stop shop system that allows you to quickly and easily start a hair extension brand. How it works is you register and create a wholesale account. You submit your logo, receive training, launch your brand, and make money. No inventory required, no set wholesale minimums. This is what our society members receive: private label service, drop ship service,
unlocking wholesale pricing, hair extension pictures and descriptions for their website, and even custom hair bundle packaging, and so much more. We have 4 easy steps to our private labeling. You're going to pick your product, create your brand, launch, and sell. This is what our basic packaging looks like. Hair Icon Society drop shipping has 3 easy steps. You're going to send your clients to your website. They're going to place an order on your store. Then you're going to forward the order to Hair Goddess Boutique, and you're going to pay wholesale pricing. Lastly, Hair Goddess Boutique ships your product to your customer. And guess what? You just made money without even leaving your couch. With an American supplier, you have a lower logistics cost, wholesale pricing, customer service is available, advice and support is available, and hair quality is guaranteed. Hair Goddess Boutique is an American supplier. Here are some of the textures we offer. Remember, we offer over 100 textures. Straight, wavy, deep wave, body wave, kinky curl, kinky straight, tape extensions, wefted extensions, and even Indian raw extensions. Now here is some of our feedback from customers. The young lady says, the hair is amazing. It's super soft and light. Another one says, I don't know what type of lace this is, but man, I love it. It blends in so perfectly with my skin. When it comes to our training, you're able to download the secrets to building a hair extension business. You'll be able to build a hair extension brand, join a community of like-minded individuals, and able to add an additional 6-figure income stream and get rid of your inventory. So community you'll be joining, here are some of the reviews. Hello, everyone. I just did my own one-on-one with Olajide Wilkerson. I am happy. I just got done with my logo. I'm almost done with my top 100 list. The society actually helps. I'm also purchasing my samples. So one of our icons says, hey guys, just wanted to give you an update on my hair journey. I finally got the design I wanted for my logo, and now it's complete. I'm in the process now of creating my website, content, social media accounts. Because today, I picked out my samples. Yay! I gained so much knowledge in the Hair Icon Society on different hair textures and grades. But most importantly, I learned that there's no such thing as quitting, because Olajide Wilkerson will make sure you keep going, even if she has to take baby steps with you. Her goal is for you to meet yours. Here's another icon, Katie. She partnered with us. She now has her own brand, suppliers, and is earning 6 figures. Now you can see why hairstylists partner with Hair Icon Society. Gift for you. You will receive the Ultimate Hair Business Secret Strategy Guide. This guide is going to take you from being a beginner to knowing exactly what you need to earn 6 figures. All you have to do is go to Instagram or Facebook, type in Hair Goddess Boutique, Hair Goddess Boutique, and DM me Icon. Once we receive the DM, we will send you your free Ultimate Hair Business Secret Strategy Guide. Thank you for watching. Now it's time to be iconic.
MD Simmons Production is a certified MBE with Miami-Dade County Public Schools and specializes in producing content that captures the essence of your school. We make your vision visual. In order to tell your story, we create promotional videos that bring awareness to your school's vision, values, and goals. As a way to maximize your school social media and online presence, we create social media snippet videos. These clips will help to inform as well as create a consistent online relationship between the school and the community. Students will have an opportunity to be mentored by our team of experts in the production industry. We expose and empower students to discover newfound skills and teach them the importance of positive communication and images online. You bring awareness to your initiatives, you increase communication between parents, students, and staff, and most importantly, you control your narrative.
Wish I can have fun like a regular teenager, but with this skin color comes great responsibility.
I am a mother of a son with special needs, but the only disability that police officers may see is the color of his skin.
Most people can put their weapons away. I can't. I wear mine every day. Don't be afraid. Don't shoot.
I want to welcome my son to the world where he is protected by the law, not on the other side of it.
The Circle of Brotherhood is a group of black men serving their community to protect their community. And if you keep shooting black men, you won't have black men to be able to protect and serve their community.
Let my sons live long enough to become men, and let my husband live long enough to teach them how.
Before you shoot.
Before you shoot.
Before you shoot.
Humanizing the lives.
Humanizing the lives.
Humanizing the lives of black men in America.
Amazing. Now, our next segment that we have is our family segment. How many people know that family is important? It's the core. It's what helps us get through things. We have these dynamic women who are going to expound on our family lives and what we can do to how to make it better. We have our moderator, who is Miss Shanique Pender. We have Miss Felicia Barnett, and we also have Miss Regina McNish. Ladies, let's shake, rattle, and roll.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the family panel. I am your moderator, Shanique Pender, and I am joined by my two panelists, Mrs. Rhonda Sheffield and Mrs. Regina McNish. And we're going to get right into it today. So for our first panelist, Miss Regina McNish, we all know that we are in a crisis with the coronavirus, COVID-19. Children are at home from school, families are together because parents are now working from home. So our question for Regina is, how do we as parents effectively parent during a crisis?
Thank you very much, Shanique. That's an awesome question. I believe that each child learns differently, so each child you would have to approach differently. But at the same time, you have to be able to listen to your child and don't do all the talking all the time, because sometimes they know, what we don't know. And I do believe that you have to understand where they're coming from and not be, I know it all the time. And it's also important that you spend one-on-one time with them outside of work, schoolwork, outside of chores at home. You be able to go sit outside on the balcony or in your backyard and just be able to talk and dialogue and just be able to hear them out. My important thing is you have to be able to listen. Sometimes it's good to just be quiet and listen. And I think you get a lot when you do that, especially in the time of crisis, because right now the suicide rate with young girls, because of the crisis being locked up in the house all the time, has risen. So it's fairly important that we listen to how they feel, listen when they're talking, so we can be able to catch those key points that's maybe causing them to feel depressed, that's causing them to feel like they don't want to be locked up. Because our kids, this generation, have grown up in a world where they're able to freely express themselves, they're able to go out, go to the mall, go to the movies, and now they're locked in. It's hard for them to be able to cope with that. So I think the important key is to listen.
That is great, Regina, and I'm gonna chime in on that because I have, like you said, you can't, each child is different. So I have 4 children and none of them can be parented the same way, right? Because they're all different personalities, different mindsets. Some will stronger than the other, but listening is definitely a key. I believe that if we listen, our kids have a lot to say, but we have to be willing to listen, and not just listen, actively listen. So it means not texting while you're listening, or not cooking. If you have to take a minute from cooking or take a break from work to listen to hear what they have to say, because nothing worse than your child talking to you and them feeling as if they're competing with everything else to get your attention. So that's definitely great response. So our next question is, how important is quality time? Some of us are married, some people are dating, some people have multiple children like myself, trying to divide your time between work, children, spouse, and then time for yourself. So how do we find quality time and incorporating that self-care as well, where we find, even if it's only 5 minutes during this time, to decompress and just think to ourselves and think of the next best way to cope and help our family cope with this. So the next question, that question is for Mrs. Rhonda Sheffield.
Well, yes. You guys see the phone dropped. Yes, I don't know. Pretty much what I can say about quality time is something that we have to plan. You know, we definitely have to plan it, because if you are just going off of just doing it, it's never going to happen. I've learned that you have to put it, you know, down on your calendar. That's what I've been doing. Like, if I want to spend time with the kids, okay, Saturday we're going to, you know, Busch Gardens. You know, you just really have to plan, you know, because a lot of times if you don't have a plan, your whole life, for me, is going to be upside down, you know. And I think, you know, quality time is just coming together with your family, and it's a family affair, you know, just taking that time out to show that family is first, period, you know. And you want to be that person to represent, you know, your family. You don't want strangers spending all the time, you know, with your family. So I really believe that, you know, spending that time, scheduling, for me, scheduling is it. You know, I can save the world with scheduling, you know, going on there, seeing what Tuesday is about, seeing what's Wednesday about, Friday, but you just have to set that time.
Yeah, that is awesome. And that's a great point, because I'm the same way. I schedule everything in my phone, hoping that it doesn't crash and it disappears. But my thing is, if it's not on my calendar, it's not happening. So it's putting that in, and the same as we do for work or assignments, if we're in school, the same thing with your family. You put it on your calendar, and not just put it on your calendar, but you have to stick to it. If it's there, it's something that you definitely know it's important, and that's why you put it on your calendar to make sure that you get it done. So that's definitely great, Rhonda. Definitely scheduling quality time, just as you schedule everything else that we schedule. So our final thing is, how crucial is it to believe beyond what we see, belief beyond sight? So we know with this coronavirus, so many things are happening. People are sick. So many people have died, and we send our condolences to their families. So many people are still battling the virus. So many millions of people have lost their jobs. So if we look at what we see, all we see is despair. So how do we believe beyond the unemployment? How do we encourage people to believe that there's something greater at the end of this, that even though it looks like despair, there's something bigger that's at the end of it? So we have to believe beyond what we see to get to that point. So we'll start with Regina.
That is an amazing question, and I thank you for asking me that question. because I just had an experience recently, and I'm a testimonial. Like I share my stories through my testimonies. And the other day I actually had a COVID scare. I was sneezing nonstop and, you know, dry cough. And I called my doctor and feeling slight pain in my stomach. So I called my doctor and he told me immediately go to labor and delivery so they can have me checked out. And, you know, the nurses came in, and it was a surreal moment for me as a believer, because I hear it on the TV. I see them dressed up in their gear on the TV, but I never had that face-to-face experience. So it was an awesome, God gave me that front row experience, and this was actually the other day, and they came in with all of their gear, and, you know, they had me laid down, and they're checking for my baby's heartbeat, and they didn't hear a heartbeat. So they left, came back with another machine, looking, trying to position themselves to find a heartbeat. And I immediately began to recite Psalm 23. My husband sitting next to me, he immediately began to pray. We began to, and not even connecting in talking, okay, babe, you pray and I'm gonna recite the psalm. It wasn't like that. Automatically, we know where our faith is. We know who we believe in. We're not gonna allow what we see at that present moment to scare us or dictate what is going on with my child in my womb. So that was an awesome experience for me, because it made me understand that I believe beyond what I see. I believe beyond what I hear. I believe in God, that He's the one who blessed me. He's the one that put me here. He's my creator, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. And my faith stands strong no matter the midst of the storm. So they began to do the little test tubes with the little nostril things, and, you know, it was an uncomfortable experience. But at the same time, after they left, I told my husband, I said, I know it's negative. You know, I'm not worried about that. You know, we finally found a heartbeat. You know, the baby was hiding in his own little corner. And at the end of the day, we got home and they called us, okay, your COVID was negative. I already know that, but thank you for confirmation. You know, it's very important at this time, especially for us believers. We can't go by what we see. Yeah, it's okay to watch the news, but it's not okay to drown yourself in the news. Right. You know, it's okay to be informed, but it's not okay to sit there and dwell on and allow it to overpower your thoughts. So I think that's a very important question, and I think God is in charge, and I know He's the creator, and I know there's nothing.
Yes, thank you for that, Regina. Rhonda?
Yes, this is a great question. And, you know, I usually tell people, you gotta see it before you see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I say that again? You gotta see it before you see it. Yeah. So I believe that even though we're going through crisis, you still gotta see yourself free.
Yeah.
You know, you still gotta see yourself. You got to be connected to a higher power, and that is my God. Yeah. You got to be a believer, because if you caught up in this world, we all will be through. So I say that we just have to be connected to a higher power. You got to trust in His word and lean not unto your own understanding. Yeah. You got to stay in His word. You got to know His word. You got to stay prayed up in His word. You just got to trust Him. And God will work it out for your good. So I just really believe that and even though in these crises, that God is going to do exceedingly and abundantly all things we asked for. But you gotta see it. But you gotta see it before you see it. Yeah. So I see ourselves next week walking out of here with no mask. You gotta see it. You gotta trust it. You understand? Amen. So even though we're here now, but I'm still trusting in the Lord and leaning not unto my own understanding. So you got to have a connection. You got to have a prayer life.
Yes.
You know, you got to speak those things as though they're not, as though they are.
Yes.
That we are healed.
Yes.
That we are walking in victory. So you just got to believe that, you know, even in these crises, that we just going to trust in the Lord, lean not unto our understanding, keep praying.
Yes.
Without ceasing. Keep praying. Keep praying. There is so much power in prayer.
Yes.
So yes, we're going through, but I know my God is going through with me.
Yes.
Side by side. So
yes. That's great responses, both from you, Rhonda and Regina. And it
Yeah.
touches not just in this crisis, but even if it's another crisis that you're dealing with aside from COVID, because after COVID, life is still gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
There may be another crisis that's not COVID, it's a personal crisis. So as the ladies say, we have to see it, like Rhonda said, before we even see it. Like Regina said, she believed that that test was negative even before they told her. So she saw it before she saw it.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave you with just this scripture that applies to every area of our lives, and one that I hold personal to me, and one that's been carrying me through this season with COVID and through my seasons, my personal crises that I've been dealing with, and that's been sustaining me, and that's Romans 8 and 28. For we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So although COVID seems like despair, and yes, we understand and we're sympathetic that people lost their lives and lost their job, but this is indeed working for our good. So hold on to that scripture and know that it would indeed work out for our good.
No, I have no dad. No dad to hold me and make things better. My sister, from blood, is getting redder and redder. You have no idea of the pain I'm being dealt. My sister is dead now. Soon I'll know how she felt. No one knows how sorry she may feel. She doesn't realize lunch from school could be my last meal. I'm not sure who God sent to come save me, but this lady took me in and was nice to me. She taught me what love really is, who God was. I believe that he saved me from where I was.
Not by might, not by power, by your spirit, God. Send your spirit, God. Not by might, not by power, by your spirit, God. Send your spirit, God. You are the fire, we are the temple. You are the voice, we are your song. You are our God, we are your people. You are the light, we stand in awe. We stand in awe of you. We stand in awe of you. Not by might, not by power, by your spirit, God. Send your spirit, God. Not by might, not by power, by your spirit, God. Send your spirit, God. You call us out of the darkness, into your love, into your light. Grace upon grace, beauty for ashes. You come to us, we come alive. We stand in awe of you. We stand in awe of you.
God will use you because before you were born in your mother's womb, your purpose was already planned. But you have to go through the process.
My biggest takeaway is something that a lot of women is challenged with is basically facing their fears.
Sometimes you have to take what you have and pretty much make the best of it.
Being a fearless woman means overcoming obstacles that society has for you. Sometimes you just have to step out on faith.
What time is it? It's raffle time. Now this is your very last raffle, so you better get in where you fit in. Now, for those who missed it, the way you can get your raffle prize, you have to be the first person who inboxes the person with your first and last name, including your email address. That's how you win that raffle prize. Now, for the last raffle, we have 3. We have Ms. Winston McLean. Winston is raffling off her 60-day reflection journal. We also have Ms. Audrey Books. Audrey's raffling off a 60-minute coaching session, including one of her journals. And we also have, last but not least, Ms. Ebony Nicole Smith. Ebony's raffling off 2 of her very own books, Eve's Confession and Sprinkles of Inspiration. Ready, set, go.
Not every vision is from God, okay? We need God visions, and that's what this system is intended to manifest. Vision Essentials is the exclusive methodology that I use to coach and train kingdom visionaries to steer their visions to reality. We develop and design the strategies and the goals and everything, and it ultimately creates a strategic plan that it will guide the rest of your year, your resources, your marketing, everything. I'm Geralda Larkins, visionary strategist and the creator of the Vision Essentials Masterclass. You can become a certified vision strategist and begin to apply Vision Essentials in your own coaching practice. To learn more about the Vision Essentials Masterclass, visit GeraldaLarkins.com.
Our final panel we have is our strategic panel. This is where we have ladies who help strategize people to get to where they need to be, their greatest version of themselves. We have our very own Geralda Larkins, we have our moderator, Miss Shirley Tolliver, and we have Miss Junie Ati. Ladies, let's finish it with the bang.
Welcome to the Strategic Society Virtual Pop-Up Shop Experience, hosted by Kingdom Visionary Strategic Society. I'm your moderator, and this is the Strategy Panel. I am Shirley Tolliver, the founder and chief power officer of Life on Power, and we have 3 awesome strategists that's going to share some strategy nuggets for your business on today. We first have Junie Ati of Junie Ati Personal Consulting and Strategic Planning. Tony Good of Diamond in You. And last but not least, the founder of the Kingdom Visionary Strategic Society, Geralda Larkins.
Hello.
Now we're going to get right into our strategy session. Our first panel discussion, and we'll start with Geralda. Describe the strategy formula for your business in 3 steps.
3 steps. Well, thank you again for hosting this amazing panel. We actually have 4 strategists on this panel because we just love you, Shirley Tolliver and Life on Power. Okay, so 3 steps. First step for me is always just a SWOT analysis. I've got to SWOT
whatever client comes to me, we got to have a real deep dive on your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats as it relates to your industry and the business and the vision that you're trying to bring forth. After SWOT, then we're going to do some goal setting. So we have to come up with your vision and your mission, because you cannot know where to go until you have a destination, and you have to be very clear on what you're doing to get to that destination. So the vision and the mission is step 2. And then at that point, it's execution. You know, you come up with your SMART goals and you just begin to execute, and then you measure how you're doing. How close are you getting to the ultimate destination that we plan for? So 3 steps. First step is SWOT. Second step is your mission and vision. Third step is execution.
Thank you, Geralda.
You're welcome.
SWOT, vision, mission, and execution.
Yes.
Next, Junia T. Describe the strategy formula for your business in 3 steps.
Thank you, Shirley, for that awesome question. So I'm more of a, bullet point version, so I'm gonna just go straight to it. One of the 3 steps I use is I actually ask the question, why 5 times? And what that does is it helps me start drilling past the different stages that normally my clients come up with, right? In the beginning, clients normally have already a scripted version of what they want to tell me. By the time I ask it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, by the 5th time, they normally get to the more organic reason on why they want to do what they want to do and why they need my assistance. And at that point, it helps me connect to them even further. The second step that I take is I want to understand who is part of your team. Hiring the right key players to play the right part is very crucial, because one person could derail the entire project. So understanding each person that's on a team, and I also take a SWOT analysis approach with each person to understand if they are the right fit for the role that they're, that they're tasked with. And last but not least is putting a metric in place, right? Putting something that is measurable, that we can see, so that the client can, understand where we're going, where we're at. Full transparency and understanding where we're going really helps strengthen the foundation of the relationship between myself and the client. So, yeah.
Thank you, Junia. Why 5 times? That's amazing.
Yeah. You know what? It actually started with, the concept came from actually me having my kids, right? Because I asked them things at least 5 times. Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to do it? And usually by the 4th, 5th time, they tell me the real reason, especially right now. I have a teenager. So usually when he comes and approaches me about something he wants, the first 2, 3 times, I'm like, why? He'll say, why? I'm like, well, my friend encouraged me. Why? Well, I thought it was a good idea. And that's how, it sounds weird, but it's the most simple concept. So I decided to take that approach with my clients, and I realized it works. I'm gonna just stick with it.
Yeah.
I like that. So that means that we can use why 5 times in business and at home.
Yeah.
That's what you just told us. That's a strategy we can use at business and at home.
Yeah, yeah.
Tonika, describe the strategy formula for your business in 3 steps.
Well, you guys have given awesome reasons. Strategies, sorry. And mine is a little, I would take one of each, starting with, it has to have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, there's no reason for a plan. There's no reason for a strategy. And then my second would be, as Geraldo said, what is the mission? What is your mission and your vision? I have to have something that I'm going to strive to do. And then last but not least, I got to be able to pull the trigger. So when I say pull the trigger, I'm doing it. I'm going full steam ahead. Just like for me, I like to stay in the background. Well, the background can't always be seen. So I'm now republishing my book, doing Facebook Live. So I have the vision, I have the mission, and now I have to just pull the trigger.
So Tanika, what I heard that after you begin planning and all of that, you actually just have to do it. You just have to get it done and begin to do it.
Yes.
So
And
as
Shirley,
a
when you
parallel
start
entrepreneur-
doing it, when you actually pull the trigger, when you actually get it done and you show up, that's when you begin to actually see, okay, do I need to make any adjustments? Do I need to make any changes? How am I doing with the metrics? Until you do something, you have nothing to measure. Until you do something, you can't even, nothing will happen. So for the sake of church, faith without works is dead. Okay, just want to say that.
You got to do it in order to know how it's done, which is why there's never going to be a fail for it. Because when you do it, like Geralda said, then you can measure and you'll know what works well for your audience. So, because you already know who your audience is, because you've done that SWOT analysis and that vision and that, so you know who your services are for and who your products are for. So there are a few things I heard today. And as a parallelpreneur strategist, all of these I use except for that Y times 5. Junie, I'm going to be using that moving forward. But SWOT analysis I start with no matter what, because to know who you are, and I go back to the book, The Art of War. If you know who you are and you know who your enemy is, then you're going to win the war every time. So even in your business, your SWOT analysis, you're actually discovering who you are in your business, what your business is, and what your business is made for. That SWOT analysis is like, it is strategy butter. It gets you where you need to go and where you're starting. Practical action plan. Then a cohesive team. You don't know what you don't know, so you will have to find some support in order for you to actually do it. So we got some great nuggets today on the first question. SWOT analysis, Y times 5. There needs to be a purpose. Do it. Your vision and mission. You can't know where you're going if you don't know how you're starting and where you're going to.
Yeah.
Panelists, I enjoyed that. And I'm sure our audience did as well. That question was, describe the strategy formula for your business in 3 steps. So audience, you just got about 12 to 15 steps in this one question.
Wow.
We're going to move on to our next panel question. Our first one is Junie IT. What is the one component in a strategy plan that is key to producing results? Junie, you're up first with that.
Okay. I would say establishing open communication. Building transparency is really important because a lot of times I've dealt with clients and they think that, oh, we'll just open communication, but it's understanding the language of of how your client communicates is important, and it all has to do, with the culture of the client. How basically the culture is super important, and it helps you understand how to communicate. And then at that point, when you understand how to communicate, the transparency of the communication is super clear. Like that is the main component. I've worked with clients where sometimes it could be a little shaky because I'm trying to understand, if I say one thing, how they're interpreting it and vice versa. And one of the obstacles that I've learned to understand, and one of the key things I go into, is being very open about what their background is, what their culture is, and accepting it and not imposing my culture on them. And when I've done that, the communication is the channels are wide open. They trust you more. They give you the green light to run better with it. So at that point, it's not like you're imposing, your ideas or whatnot. It's more of them accepting that. It's more of a blended partnership where you two are working together and, going from there.
Thank you, Junie. Blended partnership. So we talked about teams, and you just gave us a strategy within that team's transparency, and you're delivering in a blended partnership. So Nika, same question. What is the one component in a strategy plan, in a strategic plan, that is key to producing results?
Well, for that question, I got one word, but in that one word, it speaks volume. It's passion. You can't put passion on paper.
Come on, Tony.
I love it.
And what I mean by that is, if I'm seriously in, there's a difference between passion and aggression.
Yeah.
When people say that, oh, you're too aggressive, I said, no, it's not that I'm aggressive. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. So therefore, that's not something I can put on a piece of paper and tell you it's going to happen A, B, C, all the way down to Z, or 1 through 10. Because when you are passionate about something, if something comes up, you're equipped to go forward and move with that, maybe hiccup, maybe not a hiccup. That's just something that I got to do because I'm passionate about making sure I pull that trigger and I transpire what I set out to do.
Tanika, you just said passion. You can't put passion on a piece of paper.
No,
and which is exactly what you said. When you have that hiccup and as you're doing it and you get to a crossroad, you don't stop because your passion continues to move you forward. Thank you, Tanika. That was awesome. That was an awesome answer. Geralda, same question. What is the one component in a strategic plan that is key to producing results?
Well, everyone who knows me knows that without a mission and a vision, we are not going nowhere. I would rather spend most of the time of a consultation with a client on just getting down to what you do and ultimately what do you want to see when you do what you do. And that people think that that's just like a pastime. People want to go and just start putting things on social media. They want to just get a pretty logo. They want to just build a pretty website and get a photo shoot and get all popping on the outside, when really without a mission and a vision, which is the core of any entity, any organization, you got to know what you do, and you have to understand what you want to see when you do what you do. And that is going to dictate the strategies that we employ. It's going to dictate the goals that we set. We're going to delve into who you're called to, what your story is, why you're so passionate, because vision, it is everything. Vision is the actual call. Vision is what sparks the passion. What do you see? What is the thing that keeps you up at night? What is that picture that is making you wake up every morning and come down to your laptop? What is that thing that you ultimately see yourself doing, and the person that you see yourself helping and helping to find their purpose and to help just to become a more productive part of society? Vision is everything. And without vision, the people perish. Without vision, you just keep going around in circles, just trying to find yourself and trying to do things a certain way. Without vision of who you are and who God is and what he's called you to do, without seeing that from the core of who you are, then you'll be trying to measure yourself against other people and measure yourself against people that may be operating and doing the very thing that you're called to do. Because you don't have a vision of who you are and a vision of what God has called you to do in the lane he's called you to, then you'll start to compare yourself. You'll start to allow fear to grip you and to make you feel doubtful about your voice and about your way of doing things. Listen, vision is everything. And I can stand and talk about that all day, because without vision, then we will be bumping into each other. Vision and faith goes hand in hand. It's like one coin, and you got vision on one side, you got faith on the other. You got one, it has to unlock the other, and vision unlocks faith. Faith unlocks vision. And so you got to understand that that voice of God, that voice, that inner call, that inner word that speaks to you, that awakens you, and now the light bulb goes off about who you are and what you're supposed to be doing, is everything. And we take a lot of time to help a client really peel back the onion and get real about what they see. And so that's the key for me in any strategic plan.
Woo! That vision. It's mission and vision, but it's that vision is what you see. And so as Geralda was talking, I'm looking at, my response to it is around the same response. We have a lot of articles on, especially women, becoming, having imposter syndrome. But that's because they don't have the vision to believe that who God says they actually are. And that is already prepared and they can see it. Vision gets you to see it. That's what Geralda just said. And that's what I had down in my notes, that one thing for results is you having a vision. That vision is going to be prepared by the passion that Tonika talked about. And then that's going to be propelled by the transparency that Junie talked about. Another awesome conversation, ladies. So today, just now, we just discussed what is the one component in a strategic plan that is key to producing results. Audience, you just got about 4 to 5 components. With your mission and vision, pull one of those components out of there and do it and go for it. Yes. We're going to roll right into our last question for our panelists. How does a strategic plan support the need to pivot in your business? Right now, we're in the marketplace right now. Small, medium, and large businesses have had to recalibrate and sustain simultaneously. If you've ever played basketball, you viewed basketball, you're a basketball fan, you know what pivot is. That means one foot stays on the ground and that other foot allows you to clearly see what's coming ahead of you, what you should be doing in order to get that shot in. So you are grounded, but you're moving at the same time. You can see it at the same time. So in this marketplace, how does a strategic plan support the need to pivot in your business? And we're going to start off with Tonika.
Great question, great question. How I would answer that: anytime, anywhere, and anyhow. And when I say anyhow, I'm using social media, because social media right now is booming. We're, in this season, we're in quarantine, but we can reach so many people from our couch, from our office space. We can do it at 2 o'clock in the morning. We can do it at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. That's where our anytime comes in. Anywhere, we can do it in our cars now. Well, if we do it, we have to do it 6 feet apart. However, it's still anytime, anywhere, and we're collaborating to make sure that we're getting the word out.
Anytime, anywhere, anyhow.
That's right.
So that means no matter what the environment is, whether it be an environment of a pandemic, epidemic, or something else, the mindset of anytime, anywhere, anyhow allows you and your business to pivot. Thank you, Tonika. Geralda, how does a strategic plan support the need to pivot in your business?
Well, definitely we are experiencing this pivot right now. And for those that did not prepare for the pivot, then this is a time of self-reflection. It's a time to get your people in a room and kind of hunker down and talk through what is it that we're going to do. And so the part of the strategic plan that allows you to do that is your core values. Every organization, every business, every brand should have some core values. What is it exactly that what is the foundation? What are you made of? What is it that's going to make you stare fear, make you stare the COVID-19, make you stare anything in the face and say, you know what? I need to press on. Just like what Tony said, by any means necessary is in a nutshell. But you got to have that fortified in your core values. And if your core value says that I'm called to preach the gospel, I'm called to advance women women's rights. I'm called to be a champion or an advocate for youth at risk. What are those things? I'm gonna be, my lens for doing what I'm doing are my core values. My lens for saying, okay, I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to, study hard. I'm going to use social media. If I've not used it before, my core values should push me to say, okay, we're constant learners. And so because I'm a constant learner, if there's something I don't know, my core value tells me I need to go on YouTube, learn how to go live. I need to call somebody up and ask the right questions, but that has to be in you. It has to be something that's in you that says, you know what, I know that I'm called to sell this product or publish this book. I know that I'm called to get my story out. So by any means necessary, but if that's not how you're built, if that's not in your foundation, then anything will shift you. Even if it could have been COVID-19, it could have been your husband came home and was mad at you. It could have been your kids is now, going through something at school. It could be sickness where you get sick in your body and now you stuck for a minute. Listen, life is life, and things are going to constantly come at us in this world where we're going to have to pivot. But what you said, Shirley, that foundation, you got to be rooted and grounded into something. Your character got to be built on something bigger than you, because when this life hits you, okay, and it will hit you, it's a matter of not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. The Bible says storms are going to hit up against your life. And if you're not grounded, if you built your life on sand, then guess what? You're going to get swallowed up and you're not going to last. But if you build your life on solid rock, on the rock of your faith in Christ, on the rock of your family, the rock of your traditions and those things that keeps you disciplined and focused, those are things that no matter what happens to you, you're going to pull yourself up out of there because you're grounded and you're rooted in something, And so now, that's what we've had to do, even in the society. We all came together and was like, okay, we quarantined, but guess what? This word, these messages, these women, they have something to say. They are called. So we're going to go virtual and we're going to make this pop-up shop different than anything we've ever done before. We can't come together, but we can go virtual. And so that's how you pivot. The process, the purpose don't change. The vision don't change. Our methods change.
Amen. Geralda, thank you. Your core values will push you to do what you haven't done before.
Come on.
That's what Geralda just said. Your core values will push you to do what you haven't done before, when you have to pivot. I've not done it before, but I have to do it. My core values that's aligned with that says I have to do it, not I can't do it. Thank you, Geralda. Junie, how does a strategic plan support the need to pivot in your business?
Well, I have to echo off the two great women who I just heard between Tony and Geralda. It's a little hard to come back from them. But my strategy on it, we just got to go back to basics. And when we go back to basics, that echoes off of what Tony was saying, by any means necessary. And understanding the back to basics is going off of what Geralda said. We got to understand our foundation. We got to go back to make sure the foundation is strong enough. And then in doing that, I got to trust my team enough to know that they're going to get it done, right? I got to empower them because they're afraid of this whole epidemic, right? Now we got to do Zoom conferences. They got to go on social media. I was afraid myself. Geralda had to powwow me for an hour for me to get off of that mode I was in. They're not going to listen to me. I said, they're not going to listen to me. But you know what? When you're surrounded by like-minded women, as I am, as I've been blessed to be, it helps me, not only myself, but also help my team, for me to be strong enough to tell them, hey, I'm afraid too, but we're gonna go back to basics. We're gonna do whatever it takes. We gonna get this done. We gonna accomplish this together. I'm not alone. You guys aren't alone. We gonna get through this, and that's my soapbox.
Thank you, Junie. Going right back to basics, but if you go back to our first question, that was actually the basics. Those 3 steps were the basics.
Yeah.
So you go back to your SWOT plan. Go back to those 5 whys. You go back to all of that started you and propelled you in the business itself. And my addition to that question is your team. If you have that vision, that basics that Junie had talked about, and that vision, and everyone clearly understands that vision, you don't have to come up with it all. Somebody's going to raise their hand and say, hey, then why don't we try this now? Our vision says that we're going to do this. So why don't we try this instead of that, so that we can pivot in this environment? You cannot do it alone. And how you get the correct team is that Colossians tells us that we keep our mind set on what's above and not on the earth. When your mind is 100% set on what God wants you to do in God's vision, he's going to pull it down and he's going to draw the team to you, that SWOT analysis, that mission and vision. He's going to continue to push you forward what he's already prepared for you, because it's not new to God, it's new to us. The pandemic is not new to God. The pandemic is new to us.
Yes.
He already knows what our responses should be. Now, will we actually have that response that he needs us to have in the middle of a pandemic so that we can pivot?
Wow.
That was our third and final question for the strategy panel. And again, we had some amazing strategists on this panel. I am Shirley Tolliver, your founder and chief power officer of Life on Power. Junie, could you sign off? Who are you?
Can I sign off?
Yes. I am Junie. I am.
Oh, is that what I'm supposed to do? I got you. Okay. Okay. All right, Shirley. Thank you for giving me this. I am Junie Ati. I am your strategist. Thank you for allowing me to share my nuggets with you, my vision, my strategies. And please, by any means, reach out to me on social media, Junie Ati, on JunieITconsulting.com, and I promise you I will give you the best that I can. But like I said, I got a powerhouse team behind me, and if I can't get it done, they're going to help me get it done.
I know that's right.
So Nika, sign off on the strategy from the strategy panel.
Yes, this has been wonderful. This is Tanika Goody. Yay! Just kidding. I am your coach. If you want to find that diamond inside of you, just know that diamonds don't melt, and we all come in different shapes, sizes, and colors. All you have to do is make sure that you shine.
Geralda, take us home signing off.
You all know how happy I am right now. Okay, help me, Lord, to contain myself. I'm Geralda Larkins. I'm a visionary strategist, and I love y'all so much. Okay. You can reach me at GeraldaLarkins.com, but more importantly, reach out to these ladies. Y'all did this today, and I'm so proud of you guys.
Unfortunately, it comes to an end. We would like to thank everyone for coming along to our Kingdom Visionary Strategic Society virtual pop-up shop. Now, it doesn't have to end here. You can find us on our social media handles. On Instagram, you can find us at Strategic Society. And on Facebook, you can find us on Legacy TV. Now, we have this core thing. We have an app, guys. So if you're interested in knowing what we're doing, how we're doing it, where we're doing it, all you have to do is go to your app store, either on your Android or your iPhones, type in Legacy TV, and that's where you will find us. We thank you. We love you. Stay safe. We love you for free.